sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream. And if you like the live stream, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to support the show, support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store. So, before we really jump into the show, I want to bring something up, and actually it's something the liberals have been talking about. And with all these background checks that they talk about, and this no-fly list that they talk about, they, run their mouths that this is going to be the end-all, be-all, solve-all, but then admit it has stopped, would have stopped, nothing. The no-fly list would not have stopped this incident in Orlando. The no-fly list, background checks, did not stop the San Bernardino shooting. None of their solutions stop any of the shootings. So why do they keep pushing it? The no-fly list, well, it skips due process. They want to do away with gun rights. They want to do away with due process. This is a group of people, the Democrats, that are hell-bent on destroying our constitutional rights. It's not just the Second Amendment. They are trying to step on our First Amendments, freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, due process. They want to be able to convict people as they see fit. But someone explained to me, other than that, what is the logic behind pushing the gun background checks, the no-fly list ban, when it would have stopped zero, a big goose egg. It wouldn't have touched any of these incidents the last 7.5 years. The only thing those laws do is create another barrier, another step for law-abiding citizens. But they keep pushing it. And good morning, Jenna. Why should Obama talk about limiting our rights to bear arms when he is the worst perpetrator, as him and the government have armed the cartels, armed ISIS, armed Iran? His administration has armed more enemies than any citizen could ever think about. So when Obama and his administration stop arming our enemies, then he can lecture us. When Obama and our elected officials give up their armed security, then he can come and talk to us. Till then, he should not be running his mouth about how guns won't save lives. These are the same guns that surround him. He is no better than us. He is not a king. He deserves nothing more than what we the people deserve. And we deserve to be protected. I can say I'm glad the weekend's here. Oh. The left have not tried to let a tragedy go by without pushing their anti-Second Amendment. They don't know shit about AR-15s. They give false information about AR-15s. Well, it shows me they have to lie to get their point across. The CIA director, Islamic State, attempting to infiltrate the West through refugee flows. Thursday, at a hearing on CIA intelligence activities, CIA Director John Brennan said ISIS is attempting to infiltrate operatives into the West through refugee flows, smuggling routes, and legitimate methods of travel. Brenner said, unfortunately, despite all our progress against ISIL on the battlefield and in the financial realm, our efforts have not reduced the group's terrorism capability and global reach. The resources needed for terrorism are modest. The group would have to suffer even heavier losses on territory, manpower, and money for the terrorist capability to decline significantly. Moreover, the group's foreign branches and global networks can help preserve the capacity for terrorism regardless of the events in Iraq and Syria. In fact, as the pressure mounts on ISIL, we judge it will intensify its global terror campaign to maintain its dominance of the global terrorism agenda. Let's hear what he actually has to say.
Unfortunately, despite all our progress against ISIL on the battlefield and in the financial realm, our efforts have not reduced the group's terrorism capability and global reach. The resources needed for terrorism are very modest.
Real quick, now remember, we just had Obama telling us how ISIS is on the run again. How we are winning the battle. We are defeating ISIL. We have cut off their finances. They're broke. But we've heard that speech before, haven't we? But our CIA director, Obama's CIA director.
Unfortunately, despite all our progress against ISIL on the battlefield and in the financial realm, our efforts have not reduced the group's terrorism capability and global reach. The resources needed for terrorism are very modest, and the group would have to suffer even heavier losses on territory, manpower, and money for its terrorist capacity to decline significantly. Moreover, the group's foreign branches and global networks can help preserve its capacity for terrorism regardless of events in Iraq and Syria. In fact, as the pressure mounts on ISIL, we judge that it will intensify its global terror campaign to maintain its dominance of the global terrorism agenda. Since at least 2014, ISIL has been working to build an apparatus to direct and inspire attacks against its foreign enemies, resulting in hundreds of casualties. The most prominent examples are the attacks in Paris and Brussels, which we assess were directed by ISIL's leadership. We judge that ISIL is training and attempting to deploy operatives for further attacks. ISIL has a large cadre of Western fighters who could potentially serve as operatives for attacks in the West. And the group is probably exploring a variety of means for infiltrating operatives into the West, including in refugee flows, smuggling routes, and legitimate methods of travel. Furthermore, as we have seen in Orlando, San Bernardino, and elsewhere, ISIL is attempting to inspire attacks by sympathizers who have no direct links to the group. Last month, for example, a senior ISIL figure publicly urged the group's followers to conduct attacks in their home countries if they were unable to travel to Syria and Iraq.
That is our CIA director. That is in direct opposite of what our idiot commander-in-chief has said. Like I've been saying lately, this is exactly why they always, well, why do you call the president a terrorist? Well, because he acts like one. He does nothing to stop these attacks. He does not respond to these attacks. Oh, he responds by trying to disarm the American people. That's like the sheep listening to the wolves, and the wolves saying that they will now take all the firearms from the sheep. The foxes and the wolves will keep their firearms and protect the sheep. Pretty sure we all know how that story goes. And the left will be like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Because you don't want it to. We have a supposed commander-in-chief that is dead set on disarming the American people. We have the Democrat Party that is dead set at disarming the people. And don't give me your bullshit. We don't want to ban guns. We just want sensible gun control. What's sensible gun control? You're a racist. And the sad part is, this is what happens on social media. They scream they don't want gun bans. They want sensible gun control. I ask them what sensible gun control is, and I get you're a racist. Or I get you just want dead children. No, I only ask what's sensible gun control, because no one has defined sensible gun control. Background checks, we have them already. But you can go to a gun show. No, they're lying to you. They're outright lying to you, the Democrats are. And I wish I could be at these damn press conference, because I would interrupt them and ask them, why are you lying? Why are you outright lying? Just as they do about the terrorists and ISIL. The president lies to the people. It's not because he's black. It's not because he's a Democrat. It's because he's lying. I don't care if this was George Bush up there. George Washington or Lincoln could be up there saying this, and I would be calling him a liar. It was okay when everybody went after Bush, calling him a liar over the weapons of mass destructions. Oh, and the new one I heard, the weapons of mass destruction were not biological weapons or chemical weapons. It was nuclear weapons they were talking about. Now, it's not like, okay, Saddam Hussein had already used biological and chemical weapons against his own people. Now, it had nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. He had a stockpile of biological and chemical weapons. Nope. It is only nuclear they were talking about. And that's not what this person I had this discussion with is not what he said a couple of years ago. Because there was nothing found in Iraq. Now that they're finding biological and chemical weapons, because part of the ISIS, Daesh, are the military forces of Iraq that helped hide those weapons of mass destructions. And yes, weapons of mass destructions are biological weapons, chemical weapons, nuclear weapons. But no, now we have Democrats that want to change the story, change everything, because we found out they were there. We just did not find them. They don't want to hear how Syria was given weapons of mass destruction from Saddam Hussein in Iraq. And it was said back then, back in 2001, 2002, we got to get in there, because if not, they're going to be shipping these weapons. They're going to be hiding them. They're going to be sending them to Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, Pakistan, any of those countries. And lo and behold, they show up in Syria. And Assad's up there. Yep, I got them from Iraq. But now the Democrats want to ignore that fact. And it seems that one of the Democrats' lovely senators let it slip about what they really want to do. During the June 16th airing of MSNBC's Morning Joe, gun control Senator Joe Manchin let his mask slip off by expressing frustration that due process is preventing the pursuit of more gun control. Manchin made a name for himself by opposing the NRA and pushing new gun controls for law-abiding citizens in the wake of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. He spent months pushing for expansion of background checks, even though he admitted the checks would not have prevented the Sandy Hook tragedy. During his Thursday appearance on Morning Joe, Manchin pushed for more gun control via terror watch lists and other such mechanisms, but said due process stands in the way. Geez, isn't that what the Republicans have been complaining about? Sorry, I'm looking over. Britain is having a memorial. Britain lawmaker was shot and stabbed to death yesterday. It's not right, and he shot her. Britain has a gun ban. How did that happen? Britain's banning knives. That'll be coming to the U.S. soon. None of these controls, bans, would have done anything to stop a single terrorist attack in the United States. Not a single one of these background checks would have stopped any of the mass shootings we've had in the gun-free zones. And that's the weird part. All these shootings that have happened underneath Obama, where have they happened? Gun-free zones. So, the places where you can't bring guns, we've had the shootings at. Places where we can defend ourselves, you don't see those shootings happening. Manchin talked about his hopes that there could be a bipartisan support for gun control. So he's hoping that the Republicans are willing to give up on the Constitution and give up on due process, because that's what that no-fly list does. And as I was told by Senator Bill Nelson, my senator, by his staff, no Americans get put on that list by mistake. I guess Senator Ted Kennedy was a terrorist because his name came up on the no-fly list. Yes, Senator Ted Kennedy, before he passed away, popped up on the no-fly list. Oh, he got removed very quickly. There's been other senators that have been placed on the no-fly list. There is thousands of Americans that get put on that list that don't know they're on that list. No way to get off that list because it takes an act of Congress to get you off of that list. It takes thousands upon thousands of dollars to pay a lawyer to fight it in court to get it removed, get your name removed off that list. You are convicted, restricted American citizens who have never been convicted of a crime. They are convicted and restricted without due process. There's not even an appeals process to get removed from the no-fly list. And again, it would not have stopped the shooting in Orlando as he was on no-fly list. The San Bernardino, Saeed Farouk, was flying to the Middle East and back. He was on no-fly list. He was free to fly. So how is this list supposed to help? It won't. The Democrats know it. The Democrats have said it. But they want to be able to ban Americans because all they have to do is put Americans on that list. And they can't ever get a gun. So all they have to do is say right-wing conservative patriots are now terrorists and put them on the list. And we all will be banned from buying guns. And yes, they will do it. Look what they did with the IRS scandal. They singled and attacked conservative Tea Party groups. But this time you'll have people convicted without a court. You'll have people convicted without an appeal. You'll have been convicted without committing a crime. It is not that the right want terrorists to have guns. That is the left pushing their Alinsky-style tactics. No. We want due process. We want people who do bad to be convicted of bad. We understand, and it bothers us. We don't want it, but we understand bad things happen. We understand with this many people in the world, this many people in the country, in the United States, bad things will happen. We understand if you're not going to attack ISIS head on, bad things are going to happen. And I sure as hell understand that the Democrats do not give a rat's ass about any of the Bill of Rights. They want to step on your freedom of speech. They want to step on your right to bear arms. They don't want to give you due process. They want to be able to spy on you without warrants. They want search and seizures. I'm trying to put the two words together in my head for some reason. And they don't care. All right, it's time for, the breaks. And I got to announce I have a actual sponsor today that will be joining my commercial list. Try to spot it. And all you need to do is go to Reaver.one. That's Reaver. Click on the Brownell link. And, well, they have a lot of different accessories. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio and ICRN. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
you got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Making sense out of the senseless is what I try to do. The Jersey Takeover is here. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. That is REAVER.ONE. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so I can have my daughter stop yipping at me. I love my daughter, don't get me wrong, but she's, Dad, don't forget. You gotta tell him. Hit the subscribe and leave a comment. And lastly, if you want to support the show, you want to help us expand, if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one again and click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up a t-shirt. So we're talking about Joe Manchin, Senator Joe Manchin, and the comments he's making and how due process is getting in the way of gun control. Oh, the American laws are getting in the way from the Democrat taking guns away from law-abiding citizens. Ain't that a shame? The problem that we have, and really the firewall that we have right now, is due process. It's all due process. So we can all say we want the same thing, but how do we get there? The shooter in Orlando was brought in twice by the FBI. They did everything they could, but there was no way for them to keep him on the NICS list or keep him off of the gun buy list. So can't we say if a person's under suspicion, there should be a 5-year period that we have to see good behavior before they can buy a gun? How about if you're underneath FBI investigation, you shouldn't be running for president? How about if you're under investigation because you gave out top secret information, you should not be able to run for president? No, you are allowing and supporting that, but you want to walk all over due process, and if someone hasn't committed a crime, trust me, I do not like saying this about this scumbag. I really don't. But what's right is right. He did nothing wrong at the time. He threw up some flags, yes, but he did nothing wrong, did he? He broke no laws. But the moment he picked up those guns and headed to Orlando, that is when he broke the laws. He was preparing and committing a crime against the United States. But before that, he had broken no laws. Do you want the federal government running around removing people's constitutional rights as they see fit? No. He committed no crime. And I hate sticking up for this scumbag, but he committed no crime. The FBI's hands were tied. There was a lot of red flags. But those red flags could have been nothing also. But the senator wants, and he says due process is what's killing us right now. That is setting up for a future, maybe 3-6 months from now, a year from now. So they could start pushing to say, well, maybe due process can be suspended during certain times, for certain reason that the FBI and federal government see fit. And that's what's going to happen. And I'll get told you're a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. Well, I get told that they don't want to ban guns, but we want to ban assault rifles. But you just said you don't want to ban guns. Oh, no, we only want to ban certain types. We want to ban semi-automatics. Do you understand what semi-automatics? Oh, they're very bad guns. You do know that it's 90% of the guns out on the street today. Oh, they shouldn't have them. They don't understand. They hear automatic in the word and they think it's a machine gun. They're misinformed by the Democrats on purpose so that they're uneducated and don't know the truth about the weapons. The AR-15 is not a military weapon. That would be the M4. There is differences. The AR-15 is from Armalite, not an automatic rifle. Because if the AR stood for automatic rifle, why does Armalite have handguns with the AR designation? But AR stands for automatic rifle. No, it doesn't. It's Armalite rifles. Which then again, that they were kind of stupid when they did the handgun with that designation. The Democrats want to do away with all of our constitutional rights. He sits here and talks about how due process is getting in the way, how they want to go around it. But former RNC chairman Michael Steele was on the show and asked what Manchin plans to do for people who already own guns but may appear on the list in the future. Manchin talked about honoring the Second Amendment right to own a gun, then suggested, wait for it, a confiscation mechanism to take away guns from people who come under suspicion. Come under suspicion. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. If that doesn't scream un-American, I don't know what will. It is a very, very dangerous road they're going down. And once we open that Pandora's box, it will never be closed again. The Pandora's box open, all of our constitutional rights, the Bill of Rights, will be torn up, never to be seen again. And it's scary. This is the bill's coming from Feinstein, who said if she could get the votes, she would ban guns. She would tell Mr. and Mrs. America, hand in your guns. And in the wake of the Orlando terror attacks, Senator Dianne Feinstein has proposed legislation that would ban gun purchase for anyone who has been on a watch list in the preceding 5 years. In other words, Feinstein is pushing a watch list of people who used to be on the watch list. According to the New York Times, the NRA voiced opposition to Feinstein's legislation by pointing out that anyone that has kept up with the actual watch list through the year knows that the vast majority of those listed on it have never been charged with a crime. Therefore, taking away their Second Amendment rights ignores their due process protection. Again, the Democrats do not care about your Bill of Rights. Whether you're white, black, pink, green, blue, gay, straight, bisexual, trisexual, they do not care about your constitutional rights. The only time they care about your civil rights is when it buys elections. When it buys actual votes. Otherwise, to them, constitutional rights are in the way of them being rulers. And as I talked about earlier, and the Times pointed out that the list has contained high-profile throughout the year. High-profile names throughout the year, with names of Senator Ted Kennedy and Representative John Lewis both showing up on the list for a time. Has been previously reported that House Speaker Paul Ryan explained that a knee-jerk gun control expansion is not the right approach to the Orlando terror attacks. He pledged to stand in defense of America's due process protection and said the proper course of action is to review the FBI's investigation of the Orlando terrorists to ascertain if something was done wrong or should have been done differently. Well, with the information that's out there now, as much as it pains me to say, he broke no laws. Technically, he was a U.S. citizen, and he broke no laws. So, hindsight being 2020, we now want to start taking away people's rights because there's a chance that they could do a terrorist attack. I thought that's what the Democrats have been bitching at us that we shouldn't do. But yet, now they're doing it. They want us to go after possible terrorism for Middle Easterns. Even though they haven't committed any crimes, we want to convict them of crimes that they haven't committed. Based on what? And again, it really got picked up that Senator Joe Manchin suggested that due process protections were standing in the way of securing more gun control. Due process is killing us. They are setting up to take away another right of ours. And that's what this administration has been doing. Trying to whittle away slowly. Our constitutional rights, our Bill of Rights. It's scary what they are trying to do. It is scary how slowly they are working at it. Sorry, I was looking something up real quick. We're in trouble, people. They're putting out all this false information, riling up people's fears, and they claim that the Republicans do this. Holy shit, are they playing on people's fears right now? They give them false information, and then go ahead. The Sarasota City Commissioners want military-grade, high-capacity magazine assault weapon ban. Go ahead and try it, and they will be removed from office immediately. It's knee-jerk reactions, and none of this will stop a goddamn thing. No, it won't stop a single shooting. It has not, will not. But the Democrats going to fear you into those rules. It's something that they do on a regular basis. Fear. The top gun stats liberals do not want you to know. In the wake of the Orlando terror attacks carried out by a gunman who ignored the Pulse Orlando gun-free designation, liberals are eagerly working to limit the Second Amendment rights of citizens throughout the country. In so doing, they are pushing numerous gun controls that are not only theoretically troublesome, but which have already been proven practically failures. Moreover, proponents of more gun control are glossing over the facts and evidence that undermined claims about the AR-15 and other firearms, as well as fact and evidence regarding the manner in which guns are primarily used. All of these shootings have happened in gun-free zones. But they want to tell you they want to make the United States a gun-free zone. It doesn't work. Criminals and terrorists do not give a shit about the laws. Here are the top stats liberals do not want you to know. Background checks do not stop high-profile attackers. Although gun grabbers relentlessly push background checks as the solution to stop high-profile attacks on innocent Americans, the facts are that background checks do not hinder high-profile attackers in the least. Alleged Orlando attacker Omar Mateen passed a background check for his gun, as did UCLA gunman and almost every high-profile attacker in the past 10 years. A previously published list of attackers and alleged attackers who passed background checks for their guns was published by Breitbart News, and that list stands as evidence that background checks are no hindrance to evil people dedicated to commit murder. The list includes Saeed Farouk, his wife, Tashafeen Malik. That is the San Bernardino shooters. Noah Hartman, Colorado Springs. Chris Harper Mercer, Umpqua Community College. Vester Lee Flanagan, Virginia. John Russell Hauser, Lafayette. Mohammed Yosef Aberdaz, holy shit, Chattanooga. Dillian Roof, Charleston. Elton Sampson, Nadine Sofif, Garland. Jared and Amanda Miller, Las Vegas. Elliot Rogers, Santa Barbara. Ivana Lopez, Fort Hood, 2014. Darian Margus Aguilar, Maryland Mall. Carl Haverson Pearson, Arapahoe High School. Paul Siciana, LAX. Andrew John Ingradinger, Minneapolis. Aaron Alex, D.C. Naval Yard. Tennis Marvin Maynard, West Virginia. Wade Michael Page, the Sikh Temple. James Holm, Aurora Theater. Jared Logner, Tuscan. Nadine Hassan, Fort Hood, 2009. Jeverly Wong, Birmingham. Cho, Virginia Tech. Navid Heek, Seattle. And Mark Barrington, Atlanta. I know I screwed up a lot of those names. They all passed background checks, but yet they went on to kill. They didn't get through this magical loophole. Nope. I don't know where the Democrats are pushing a false narrative of a background check. And what did all of this have in common? All those shooters. Gun-free zones. Most all of those were gun-free zones. Did you know more people are killed with clubs and hammers than rifles? Amid the push for an assault weapons ban following the Sandy Hook attack, FBI numbers show for the years 2005 to 2011 and found that the numbers of murdered by hammers and club constantly topped the numbers of murders by rifles. For example, in 2005, the number of murders committed by a rifle was 445, while the number of murders committed with hammer and clubs was 605. Oh, and another little fact, when you look at that number of murders committed with rifle, that is also justified shootings from police actions. In 2006, the number of murders committed with a rifle was 438, while the number of murders committed with hammers and clubs was 618. In 2011, there was 323 murders committed by rifle, but 496 murders committed with hammers and clubs. And it should be noted the rifles in view here include all kinds of rifle, bolt action, semi-automatic hunting rifles, semi-automatic target rifles, etc. So the percentage in which a rifle like an AR-15 were used would be even smaller than the overall number quoted for the years above. AR-15s are not automatic rifle. Although politicians like Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, celebrities like Seth MacFarlane, and too many media pundits to number have referred to the AR-15 as an automatic weapon. Whoopi Goldberg loves to push this. The fact remains that AR-15 are semi-automatic firearms. They shoot one round, and one round only each time the trigger is pulled. This means, as AR-15 shoots no faster than a Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm handgun, or a Glock, or a Sig Sauer 40 caliber handgun, or an H&K, or a Ruger 45 caliber handgun, claims to the contrary are either based on ignorance or part of a focused attempt to demonize the AR-15. I've heard numbers of close to 800 to 900 rounds per minute. That is the M4 fully automatic version. The AR-15 is closer to, I think it's like 80. They put out false numbers, fear into people. Again, it's getting about that time. Again, I have a new sponsor, Brownell Firearms and Accessories. Go to Reaver.one on the right side of the page or at the very, very bottom. I have it at the bottom for very ease. Or on the right-hand side, you scroll down, look for it. You click on it, go to Brownell, pick yourself up some accessories. You can order a new firearm. And yes, you have to go through background checks. You have to follow the same rules. Your firearm will be sent to a FFL of your choosing. It doesn't get sent right to your house. That is a false lie. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio and ICRN. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying confidence, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream. Oh my god, am I screwing up this intro? Well, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Let's see, where are we? We're going over the different stats that, well, the left outright lies about or hides. Guns are legally used for self-defense purposes approximately 760,000 times a year. Staggering, isn't it? Especially when you consider the way the mainstream media covers gun crime after gun crime, giving the impression that guns are just bad things which bad people use to hurt good people. Yet Florida State University criminologist Gary Kleck has demonstrated that guns are used for defensive purposes approximately 760,000 times a year in the United States. Number 5, and the last one, well, actually, no, I thought it was just a list of 5. There's a list of 6. Ooh, I'm not doing too good today, am I? Gun-free zones are killing fields. I've been preaching that for a while now, haven't I? The Orlando terror attack took place in a gun-free zone. Result, 49 people dead. The attack on Umpik Community College gun-free zone, October 2015. Left 9 dead. The attack on gun-free Chattanooga military offices, January 2015. Left 5. The attack on Fort Hood gun-free zone, April 2014. Left 3 dead. The earlier attack in Fort Hood gun-free zone in November 2009 killed 13. The attack in gun-free D.C. Naval Yard, September 2013, killed 12. The attack on gun-free Sandy Hook Elementary School, December 2012, 26 kids killed in that gun-free zone. The attack at a gun-free Aurora movie theater, July 2012, killed 12. And the attack on the gun-free Virginia Tech campus, April 2007, killed 32. Think about it. 8 gun-free zones, 207 firearm-related deaths. Gun-free zones. Gun-free zones. 8 gun-free zones, 207 deaths. And yes, this bar was a gun-free zone. In the state of Florida, it is a felony to bring in a gun to a bar. Just to bring it in, not even shoot. If you were concealed carrying and you go into a bar, that is a felony automatically. Most bars, if they see it, they understand. Sometimes people forget they have their weapon on them. I never forget when I have my weapon on. They say something when they see it, and they send you out to secure it in your vehicle. It amazes me. It absolutely amazes me. And the left keep pushing to disarm. They just want to disarm the American people. More children under the age of 10 killed by fire, drowning, than accidental gun deaths. It has been reported from the CDC and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, numbers from 2010. The figures were compiled by John Lott. They showed the number of children under the age of 10 unintentionally killed in fire-related death was over 7 times higher than the number of children killed in unintentional gun-related deaths. The number of children killed in unintentional drowning deaths was 16 times higher than the number of children killed in unintentional gun-related deaths. The raw numbers were as followed. And remember, John Lutt was compiling all this information because he was an anti-gunner. Guess what? He became, well, he's not an anti-gunner anymore, at least. The numbers proved the Democrats wrong. And we will go through the numbers. The number of children killed in unintentional fire-related death was 267, and unintentional drowning, 609. Number of accidental gun-related deaths, 36. Which one do you see on the news more? Nope. There's not an agenda out there. The Democrat Party views us as all terrorists. And that's how they're trying to treat us with these gun laws. Responding to the terror attack at Pulse, Orlando by pushing more gun control is a not-so-subtle way of treating law-abiding Americans like terrorists. This happened the day of the shooting. Just like 5 hours after everything had ended, you had a Democrat, Florida state senator, running her mouth about gun control. Not terrorist control, gun control. After all, pushing gun control for well over 100 million gun owners because of a terrorist attack of one gun owner is nothing short of punishing all for the action of one. Hold on one second. All right, give me 1 second. I got a treat for everybody, if I can get this system going. You there? Crash. Crash.
Yes.
All right, you're on air.
Hello.
Well,
I tried to make sure I was properly harassing all your daytime listeners, so I figured I'd call in twice this week. You know,
hey,
change it up a bit.
How did Wednesday night go, by the way?
Went good. My kid graduated. She got a couple of awards.
That's good.
They had awards for some of the stupidest things ever, but thankfully my kid actually got real ones, not the, this is an award because you delivered the mail inside the school. You didn't screw up. What the frick kind of award is that?
And my daughter actually got 2 awards. One of them by question. The other one is an actual, she got a perfect attendance award. She's gotten it now like 3 years in a row. So
now see, some of them, like, okay.
That's a feat.
That's an achievement. You get straight A's or all A's and B's. Okay.
She gets a citizen. She has gotten a citizen award on a pretty regular basis, and that is showing ability to help others and a willingness to help others. That one, that's a questionable one, but you know what? Teaching our kids that helping is a good thing. Hey.
What's that?
I was saying teaching our kids that helping is a good thing isn't a bad award overall.
No, it's not. The first time I heard of that one, I was kind of like, all right, really? Like, okay, you're giving my kid an award because they're behaving as they should? I mean, to me, it was like, okay, that's how I raise my kids. That's not something they should – it's kind of like me giving them an allowance for cleaning up their room, which is something they should already be doing. But then when I thought about it and I looked at how the other kids act and how my kid interacts, it was like, okay, well, now I understand how that stands out so much. Other parents don't raise kids like this anymore. So, okay, you know, because it'd be really easy for her to fall in with how the rest of the kids behave and just be a complete bitch. Shoot, sorry. Damn. I hope you didn't already.
No,
I hope you didn't have like a really good show going with no cussing.
No, I think I've been cussing because I've been pushing and talking about the Democrats and how they're pushing this no-fly list, no due process bullshit. That would not stop any of the attacks that have happened. It's just a way to go around due process so they can ban guns. That's all it is.
It's just the latest thing. Well, it's not even the latest. I mean, some of this stuff, it's regurgitation of the same old crap. They just put a new name and number on it and think that, you know, hopefully this time it'll sneak through. There was actually an interesting article I saw today. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. And it's directly related with this. It asked the question, would New Jersey gun laws have prevented what happened in Orlando? And it was kind of like an analysis of it. and I think it was your governor called our gun laws completely ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous that we're said to have, New Jersey is said to have some of the strictest gun laws. Saying you got the tallest building in Oklahoma or Idaho. I mean, it's not much of a bar. It's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, whatever. You know, your point of view. I don't care.
New Jersey has very communistic rules when it comes to gun control.
It's like, okay, you've never lived here. You don't. I really hate it when people want to preach about something they actually have no knowledge of. And the thing, and they're sitting there, and it's like this whole thing, and it was convoluted because they're saying on one side of it, oh, it wouldn't have worked. Well, they said, what was it they said? They said that the gun he had is outlawed in the state of New Jersey underneath our assault weapons ban, but it is readily available for sale in the state. Well, wait. It's outlawed in the state, but it's readily available for sale. Okay, please tell me they're going to correct themselves at some point. And then as you read on, you find, oh, okay, well, yeah, the base model is that you can't have the folding stock, you can't have the sound suppressor, and you have to, and the magazine has to get limited. Okay, well, then it's not the exact same gun anymore. It's not allowing for those options that this other guy had. Would it have stopped some asshole that wanted to go shoot up a bunch of people? No, it wouldn't have. They were saying, one guy was saying that, well, the folding stock allowed it to be more concealed.
No.
Okay, well, guess what? I could buy that same gun with the stock being tinned, and I could cut the stock off and make it more concealed.
What does that have to deal with that it was after 2 o'clock and security stopped patting down? He didn't conceal it and go in. He grabbed it and walked in with it and started shooting from the entrance.
That's the thing. I mean, that's what I'm getting at is the fact that these articles, I mean, how they're trying to portray this, that, you know, strict gun laws would have prevented this. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't have prevented it. I mean, the only little bit of credence I actually gave one commentator or whatever the hell you want to call him was that I actually did see a correction. It was not an AR platform. Somebody finally put it in print that it was not an AR platform. It was a 6-hour MCX.
Yeah, they really never gave the law enforcement always said a long rifle was used.
Yep.
And everybody assumed.
As soon as somebody says assault weapon, bam, it's an AR-15.
Yeah.
It's an AR-15. It's an evil gun. It shoots the same goddamn round as a hunting rifle because that's what.
No, actually, it shoots a weaker round than a hunting rifle.
Well, it depends on what hunting rifle you've got. I mean, you could use a 223 for hunting.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it depends on what you're hunting. Like I said, for hog, you got to place a very good shot. Deer, unless you place a perfect shot, that deer's going to kind of laugh.
No, perfect shot placement, maybe on a doe. I mean, a smaller deer, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But in all honesty, if I'm going after deer, I'm using a full size model.
Yeah, I want either the 30-30 or 30-06.
30-06 would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's a freaking tool. I mean, it's the same
It is an elongated
22
round.
A what?
It's a longer version of the 22 round. Basically. With a higher powder charge. You know, it's they blow it out of proportion. And it's estimated that there's 4 million AR-15 owners in the United States. It's a reliable, accurate, great shooting gun, but they want to demonize it because of the action of a couple people. But we're not allowed to demonize Muslim religion because the action of a few.
Yeah. No, ain't that a bitch? How silly is that?
That really makes me go, huh?
All the stuff going on right now makes me go, huh?
And it really should. Here's some stats for you that I went over right before you called, and I thought you'll find these pretty interesting. The other thing they like to talk about is the children that are killed by guns. And the last stats that this gentleman did was in 2010. The number of children killed in unintentional fire-related deaths was 262. Unintentional drownings, 609. And the number of accidental gun-related deaths of children under 10, 36.
Yep.
But we got to ban guns.
Yep.
8 gun-free shooting zones going all the way back to November of 2009. 8 gun-free shooting zone deaths with 207 deaths in all of them. The gun-free zones are a failure. The numbers prove it. But yet they still go on.
Didn't the sheriff just take to the news within the past couple of days from Florida that turned around and called out gun-free zones for the BS that they are?
I went down. I know Sheriff Clark. He is a sheriff somewhere Midwest North, I think it is. He has called out gun-free zones repeatedly.
Okay. I thought I heard something about that. One of the interesting things that I saw, the whole tinfoil hat thing, was somebody put up a thing. While you're being distracted by everything going on in Orlando, here's some other news items that have slipped through the radar. And one of the biggest ones, and it was ironic because I didn't even know about it until this had pointed it out to me, was the fact that there's a lawsuit being filed to investigate for misconduct during the elections due to the fact that there's such a large discrepancy between exit polls and the actual numbers. Evidently, a 2% discrepancy is enough. That's what the federal government uses, 2% discrepancy. That's enough to launch, to do a recount, to look into, okay, why is there 2%? Okay? Evidently, there was something like 5% in some states. One state had like a 10% in favor of Clinton.
It
There was like almost half. There was like, I think it was like 7 or 8 states had massive discrepancies. And there's, I can't remember what agency. There's actually an agency suing to make the government look into it because they don't want to. At least that's the impression that's being given. They don't want to investigate this, why there's such large discrepancy.
Yeah, it's what's going on.
I mean, it's literally, it's stealing the freaking election. I mean, if that's what's being done during primaries, what's going to happen during the general? And you wonder why people have absolutely no faith in our electoral system?
Well,
maybe this is why.
Well, when we also, let's talk about the gun list just for 1 second. Ted Kennedy was on that list. Ted Kennedy Senator Ted Kennedy was on the no-fly list at one time.
Oh, the no-fly list, yeah. Okay.
And it's Representative John Lewis was on that list at one time. But yet it's also, it does away with due process.
The problem with the no-fly list is nobody knows how you get on it definitively. They've got all these different ways that they say you can get on it.
But yes,
and
nobody knows exactly.
There's no notification to the person.
Nope.
So you don't even know your flag until you show up. And there's no way to remove yourself unless the government just decides to remove you. It's complete BS.
Oh, you have to hire high-profile attorneys. You have to, Congress. You have to fight, in court and all that. But literally, you have to get a Congress act to get removed from these lists. And I called up my senator, and I questioned about it, and they said, well, no, there's no Americans on there. There never has been. Duh. Yeah, there has been. Well, let them call us because that's not what it's about. We'll help them get off. Bullshit, you will. There's no way to get off the list. The Republicans, last time this stupidity was brought out, said, okay, you want to do the no-fly list? Let's set up a court. That if a person is put on it wrongly, they have an easy access to get it removed from it, and the Democrats went, no, we don't want that.
Well, of course not.
Because then they would have to show how you get on that list.
They'd actually have to show they'd actually have to show a reason other than the arbitrary placing of individuals on it due to which party you belong to, what religion. And that's the funny thing. Christians were labeled as terrorists at one point, not that long ago. Yet, I'm trying to think. Honestly, now correct me if I'm wrong. I'm really trying to dig deep here. How many times in the news was there some mass shooting or attack or bigotry event or riot or anything else where it was somebody on the Holy Crusade for the Vatican? I'm trying to think now. I got nothing. How about you?
No.
It's really cool that we should get labeled.
Yeah,
yeah, come on.
Right now, also, and I'm going to change the subject a little bit because people don't realize what's going on. You already have Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell saying, well, maybe we should do an assault ban. A Republican senator that's the leader of the Senate is saying maybe they should. You have now Senator Jeff Sessions out there going, the Republicans are going to fold. He put out a statement today of, we have a constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Congress has passed various laws dealing with the possession of firearms. But you can't have a secret list somewhere that denies an American citizens the right to free speech, freedom of religion, and right to bear arms. And that's what is going on. And we have Republicans that are already folding. They gave in to the filibuster, and they said they'll allow a vote, which will take place Monday or Tuesday. They're already folding because they're listening, and whether they're just a bunch of pussies that they've shown that they are, or they're believing the rhetoric from the left that you're not going to get elected if you don't pass gun control, which every election has shown in the history that every time the Democrats push gun control, they've lost the damn election.
Well, the funny thing is, and I mean, I've talked to numerous, I've got Democrats in my family of all shapes and sizes, colors, whatever. I mean, everything from the moderate to the extremists. It all depends on how much of the Kool-Aid they want to drink. And the same thing with the Republican side. I mean, my family's very diversified when it comes to their political points of view. Now, the funny thing is, with the exception of, I think, one or two people that are extreme far left, they don't necessarily agree with my wanting to or my right to have a firearm. They don't agree with it. However, they agree that I should have the right if I choose to. So they wouldn't support it. I've had family members and friends that are Democrats that do not want anything to do with guns, and they even say that that is your personal choice, just the same as what type of car you want to drive, what religion you have, your sexual orientation. It is a personal choice. Now, if your personal choice is going to have a direct impact on me, then I have got a right to say something about it. Until that time, it's not a life-threatening business, and the government should back off. So please tell me how these politicians are listening to their constituents when both sides, the constituent base, seems to actually agree with the right to bear arms.
They're not listening. That's the problem. Hey, I got to cut in. We got a commercial break, and I actually now have a sponsor, so I actually have to be really responsible about playing these. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio and ICRN. We'll be right back after this break.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
It was found to be.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am trying to make sense out of the senseless, but when we're dealing with liberals, nothing makes sense. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream, and if you like the live stream, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up a t-shirt or two. So, we got talking. It was something I brought up earlier on the show, but you have Hillary Clinton out there saying, if you are on a list or if you're being investigated by the FBI, you should not be allowed to buy a gun. Well, first of all, investigating and committing a crime are two different things. But on the same token, if you're being investigated by her rationality, she should not be running for president of the United States either.
Yeah, talk about being able to have access to a gun, freaking nuclear arsenal.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah, I know that's an extreme way to put it, but you know, the screwed up thing is, too, they keep saying investigated. On some of this stuff, it actually looks more like he was questioned because of a statement that he was, somebody said, oh, well, this guy made this statement, so they went, yes, they did investigate.
10 months.
But there's nothing found to be of substance. I mean, Christ, the FBI have millions of small investigations throughout the year for different things that occur like this.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, they go in, they look.
And how many of them turn out to be anything?
Yeah.
A very small percentage.
Nothing, then they move on. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you heard this or not, but I believe this is the gun shop where he went, or one of the gun shops that he had gone to. They had called the FBI because he wanted to buy a large amount of ammunition
and a vest
and body armor, and they
military grade.
Sell it. Yeah, and they made the phone call. Well, there was nothing to identify the guy. They didn't realize till after it happened who the guy was. So
they didn't have a license.
They had no information on the guy other than the fact that he'd come by. Well, in around the same time frame, they had called the FBI about 4 Middle Eastern individuals who came in and did purchase various police items. The police, and the FBI did investigate. Come to find out, their security from overseas, their security officers or something going on with a delegate or something over here. Completely legal for them to have those items. There was nothing wrong with it. The FBI just said, okay, no problem. Carry on. Now, in all honesty, I can see both sides of this. Everybody's worried about the extremists and everything else, so you see that guy buying the stuff opposed to me buying it. You call on him, not me. Okay. Now, isn't that racial profiling?
I know, and that's what they say we're not supposed to be doing. But here's the thing that I tell everybody.
So it's a double-edged sword. They tell you if you see something suspicious, call it in, but be careful. We could turn around and say that you were racially profiling, and the ACLU will be up your ass.
Fuck the ACLU.
You're freaking screwed no matter what the hell you do.
Yeah, but the law enforcement is not going to say that you're profiling. You might have some idiot call you racist, but you know what? Fuck them. If you see something, speak up and call it in.
Remember back to the Zimmerman case. Because they played on the recording, he identified it as a black male, and there was a lot of people that said, well, that was profiling. He was profiling.
I know.
No, it's a freaking description.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn description. But
blood pressure up?
Sorry?
Blood pressure up?
A little bit, yeah, sorry.
I don't care. It has been, and I can't imagine how the family feels. This week has been fucking draining doing the show. When these shootings happen, it brings back a lot of memories from when my father got shot. And then when I hear these idiots talking about banning weapons and restricting weapons, it really goes back to my father shooting again, because my father was not allowed to carry a handgun in the state of New Jersey. He wasn't allowed to protect himself, and he had to stand there and watch as his boss was murdered. He had to stand there and wait his turn to get shot. And there was none of these idiots around that were there to help my family as we had to endure my dad going through something like 23 surgeries in 10 years. Now, I'm lucky that my father survived, but, I've seen what happens when you can't arm yourself. those families can see what happens when you, and I'm kind of split on it, because I don't think in a bar where people are drinking, they should be carrying a weapon. You're in an altered mental status. But at the same time, there's so many places that are like that. I mean, Walt Disney World, you're not allowed to carry your weapon. You can't protect yourself. They don't have security around that much. And that was one of the places this gentleman was casing also. But he wanted a more soft target. And now we got his wife screaming, she's being profiled, they're lying. But she was on her phone texting with her husband as he was committing this crime. And she says, "Oh, I knew nothing about it." He's posting on his Facebook page everything that was going on as he was committing these crimes. He's talking to police like there's nothing going on, calmly talking to them, telling them. And it's really scary that these people have to call 911 to tell them that they're doing it in the name of ISIS, because they know our president and our current administration and mass media liars will cover up the fact that he was doing it in the name of ISIS. We've seen it multiple times. So now they're calling 911 to blatantly say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And yet we still have a president that's ignoring all this shit. And he wants to talk about gun control. Well, disarming the American people will not do it. So the only reason I can think is that piece of shit is in bed with ISIS and wants to help them kill Americans. Why else would they want to disarm the American people? I'm absolutely flabbergasted on how willing he is to disarm the American people.
Yeah. And it's not just him. There's been numerous. I'm thinking by far, I think he's the worst. But the original assault weapons ban, that was Clinton's administration.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is if you look back, this has been a slow process. They've been slowly working towards this. And yeah, he did more than a lot of other presidents did, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people noticed it, that weren't necessarily paying attention, because all of a sudden it's, whoa, wait a second, what the hell's going on here? But they don't want anybody to be armed, other than those who they deem worthy. I mean, Christ, okay, if you're on the no-fly, no-buy. Freaking air marshals have been denied access to flights they're supposed to be protecting because they're on a no-fly list.
72 Department of Homeland Security personnel are being investigated and linked with terrorist activity. 72 Department of Homeland Security officers are involved.
Who are armed.
Yeah, who are armed and responsible for protecting the United States.
Supposedly.
Are being investigated for terrorist ties.
Yeah, and the thing is, I have got no problem with Homeland Security. I have no problem with an agency protecting our borders. But the one thing, one of the things I really did question when it came to President Bush was the whole thing with the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, we've already got all these departments. We've got, the intelligence agencies, and we've got, all these other agencies. We had to come up with a whole new one to handle this new problem. Yet, honestly, it seems like this department has been plagued with more issues, drama, and scandal than any of the other predecessors. Yeah. It just doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. I mean, it's like their entire state is geared around one thing, and they completely suck at doing it.
Well, it doesn't help that our benevolent jackass leader has intertwined the Muslim Brotherhood into leadership of all of our national security. And that scares the piss out of me because they're right there. They are classified as being terrorists. They have helped fund terrorism. And they're being placed in Department of Homeland Security in high-ranking position. And right now you have Hillary Clinton on her leadership team. There's a New York City Council Speaker, Melissa Mark Vivitro. Sorry if I'm screwing up her last name. And she's tweeting support for another terrorist and unrepentant bomber, Oscar Lopez Riviera. Now, this woman is on Hillary's leadership team, and she's tweeting pro-terrorist comments. What the fuck happened to this country? People like that were usually arrested or at least not allowed to be in New York City Council positions. They weren't allowed to run for president.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it?
No, it doesn't.
But yet, it's the way it is. The only thing I can pray for is
people wake the fuck up.
It's January 20th. January 20th, I'm just praying that things will at least start to look better.
Well, the first step is in November. That would be the first step. And
yeah.
November, actually 1st is the first Tuesday of November, so the elections will be on November 1st.
Alrighty.
I just hope to God, because we got to reverse what the hell's been going on.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, we definitely need a change. If we don't, I mean, we're already so far down a bad road. If we don't figure out a way to correct this course, people think things are bad now.
It's good.
This is only the beginning. I mean, things are going to get a hell of a lot worse. I mean, not one of these decisions that has been made has really had much of a positive impact. I mean, the funny thing is, they're always yelling about the 1%. Oh, the Republicans just want to protect the 1%. Oh, this is, the 1% need to provide for everything, blah, blah, blah. It's ironic that it seems like most of their policies do more to help their 1% than it does for anybody else in the country.
Yeah.
I can't think of one thing that's helped in class. I can't think of one thing that's helped me. I can think a lot of it's been done to hurt me, but not one thing that helped.
No, and it's...
All right, well, I got to go get some money, so I will talk to everybody next week, I believe.
All right, thank you for calling in.
No problem, and I'll give you a call back this afternoon, all right?
All right, bud. Peace.
All right, bye.
That was Crash. He is my co-host on Wednesday nights for Southside Mutts. It is absolutely ridiculous what is going on in this country. It is... Sorry, I'm trying to shut one of my electronics off. And it seems I can't do anything with the screen. All right, I'll deal with that afterwards. The Democrat Party has been infiltrated. And it's not because I'm trying to make this a right versus left. These people are backing terrorists. They are trampling our Constitution. We have Obama showing up into Orlando. And what's funny is it was on his way to vacation in South America. And standing at the memorial for the victims of the terrorist attack at a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida, President Barack Obama implicitly blamed Republicans for the attack because they blocked gun control laws. He's making it a political matter at a memorial for those that were killed, Obama referred to both attackers in San Bernardino and Orlando as homegrown and lone wolf terrorists who had access to guns, comparing them to other mass shooters on American soil. This man has been hiding and complicitly protecting these terrorists. Our policies have conspired to make it as easy as possible for a terrorist. His policies, or just as the disturbed individuals like those in Aurora or Newtown, to buy extraordinary powerful weapons, and they could do so legally. Obama flew to Orlando yesterday and was joined by Vice President Joe Biden. The pair went to Orlando Magic Arena to meet the families about 2 miles from the nightclub where the attacks occurred. Later, Obama said that the grieving families he meant don't care about politics. He said, neither do I, neither does Joe, but what does he do? He makes all of it about politics. This debate needs to change. It's outgrown the old political stalemate, but he doesn't want to make it political. And he doesn't care about politics, but he's talking about the political stalemate. Those who defend the easily accessible of assault weapons should meet these families. I'd be more than glad to meet them. More than glad. Because I understand more what they're going through than this piece of shit we call a president. Obama and Biden traveled to the makeshift memorial at the Phillips Center and placed a wreath of flowers at the scene before making his disgusting comments. He lectured Second Amendment gun right advocates, ordering them to explain why is it they think our liberties require these repeated tragedies. That's not the meaning of liberty, he said angrily. This man has been trying to stomp on our constitutional rights, our Bill of Rights, at every step of the way. The notion that the answer to this tragedy would make sure that more people in the nightclub are similarly armed to the killer defies common sense, he said. Obama asserted that he would destroy ISIS, but that it's also important for Americans to support more gun control. He told us what he wanted to do with gun control in those speeches, but he never said how is he going to fight ISIS? How is he going to ramp up the attacks on ISIS? How is he going to destroy them? No, but he can sure as hell attack Americans, but he doesn't want to attack his brethren, the terrorists. And he says, I truly hope that senators rise to the moment and do the right thing. And that would be removing his ass, but it's too goddamn late to do that. If we don't act, we will keep seeing more massacres like this. Yes, because you're not doing nothing to fight the terrorists. You're not doing nothing to fight ISIS. You're pandering and giving bullshit attacks. You're giving warning to them. You have them in our leadership now. I find it disgusting what he has to say. Because he doesn't give a shit about any of those victims. And I tell him right to his face he doesn't give a shit. Disarming us will not help. And that comes from a victim of gun violence. Disarming us will not help. In fact, it causes more carnage. Your gun-free zones cause the carnage. Your gun control, Obama, causes the carnage. Your failure of a presidency has caused the carnage. Your failure to act against ISIS causes this carnage. Obama, you are directly responsible. You are covered in blood of the American people because you fail to attack ISIS. You fail to do the right thing against ISIS. The only thing you want to do is help ISIS. Protect ISIS. You have been trying to import ISIS into this country. And it's not just Obama. It is the Democrat Party has been infiltrated by the scum and have been attacking our values and our country for the last 7.5 years. Protect yourself. Get training. Train. Take classes in self-defense. Take classes in weapons training. Arm yourself. Because this piece of shit president isn't going to do anything to stop these attacks against us. This isn't an American pissed off like Timothy McVeigh. These are terrorists out to destroy the values and the freedoms that we love. And this so-called president pisses all over our rights and continues to help our enemies. He talks about he doesn't care about politics. No, he doesn't. He cares about destroying this country, tearing it down, destroying our constitutional rights. And now they're attacking our due process. People, unfortunately, bad things happen. Sorry, that's life. This utopia, perfect world that they keep pushing will never come about. And the more Muslims that they bring into this country allows more chance for ISIS to bring in their brethren. And the more chances for these gun-free zones to have more attacks on them. And I can't believe there's still people backing Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. They have been destroying this country for the last 7.5 years. And with that, I want to say have a great weekend. Be safe. And thank you. I'm honored to be here. And I'm honored that you listen. Have a great weekend. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.